Welcome back to Scale Model Review. Today we're going to do a quick review on the Academy 135 King Tiger last production. Now this, I went to Bovington recently, well I've been there quite a few times, but this was the first time I went at the beginning of the summer with my son. Took my son up there, we camped over for the night and everything, and we really loved it. And obviously when you get to the end, there's a shop on the end and they've got tons and tons of model kits like Tamiya's, Academy, Airfix, all the usuals, Revell, you know, the lot. So obviously as you have to when you visit these places, you have to walk away with a kit. I think it gives the company some money, the museum some money, and it was expensive for where it was. I mean, I paid 45 quid for this. I know I can get it cheaper, but it's going to a good cause and everything, and I got a kit that I had managed to open the box up and have a look at, and I thought, oh, that looked quite nice. This is meant to be a nice kit anyway. Not, as you know, I'm not a big armour guy. I still haven't done my first one yet. I've started with my Panzer II, this one here for the Holy Toledo Sig, but this is I think this will be my next piece of armour when I do one, because the camo scheme on this looks absolutely amazing. But it's meant to be a good kit, so let's get inside and have a look.
The new King Tiger was introduced onto the battlefield in late 1944. At 70 tons, it would be the largest tank in service during World War II. Its long-barreled gun could deal with any tank with apparent ease. Panzer Commander Richard von Rosen is seen here inspecting his battle group of King Tigers.
In the West, the enemy tanks didn't give us a headache, neither the Sherman or the bigger version, the Firefly, with its bigger gun. None of this was a problem for us.
The Ardennes counter-offensive, known as the Battle of the Bulge, began on the 16th of December 1944. It is the one battle of the war most closely linked with the King Tiger tank. Hitler ordered 10 Panzer and 14 infantry divisions to break through the Ardennes forest in Belgium, seize the port of Antwerp, and sever the Allied supply line to their northern armies. One King Tiger battalion was placed in an SS battle group spearheading the advance. Using the poor weather to their advantage, the German troops completely surprised the Americans, throwing them back in disarray within the first few days. A German breakthrough looked imminent. Although the Germans only deployed about 150 King Tigers, their reputation completely outweighed the impact of their numbers. But despite its lethal killing power, the Germans soon discovered they had made a tactical blunder in using King Tigers to spearhead the offensive. Because of its size, the King Tiger was not suited to rapid maneuvering through the narrow roads of the hilly and heavily wooded terrain of the Ardennes. The Germans sought to maintain the initiative by redeploying the remaining King Tigers to the town of Bastogne, which had been surrounded earlier in the offensive. But here, determined American resistance prevented Bastogne from falling. A hard battle was fought for this strategic position, but even the King Tigers could not turn the tide. As the weather improved, Allied air superiority decimated the German armor, including the precious King Tigers. With the defeat of Hitler's Ardennes Gamble, the last great Tiger action in the West had been fought and lost. Germany's defeat was now just weeks away. The few Tigers remaining in Hitler's diminishing arsenal were used mainly on the Eastern Front. During the final 2 years of the war, the Panzer troops had fought with distinction through the great battles on both East and West fronts. Their skill and discipline in defense, often against overwhelming odds, had pushed the Allies to the limit.
Okay, so the Academy 135 German King Tiger last production. Now, as I said before, got this at Bovington Tank Museum. Done the rounds there for a few hours, came out, went into the shop. First time I'd been there, this is quite a while ago now. and they've got a lot of kits there like Tamiya, Academy, Airfix, Revell. You know, a lot of armour and small figures and things like that. There's a wealth of information there, book-wise as well. Great library. I felt I had to buy one while I was there. It would be rude not to. And this is the one that grabbed my attention. As you can see, it's a lovely box art on there. Now, this is one of the new Academy kits that, I mean, as I said, as you guys know, I'm not an armour freak. But I do have quite a collection of armour now. It's building up quite slowly. And I am starting to, just about to start my first 135th. But this is the one from Academy, meant to be a really nice kit, so I've been told since I've bought it. It's got a funky camo scheme, as I'm sure you'll agree. The box itself, there's a few shots of it made up there, as you can see, around the size of the model there. Gives you the dimensions of the model made up. Okay, around there's a paint index, which we'll go into in a little bit of detail later. And that's kind of it. It says here that the decals are by Cartograph, so they're going to be very good. But it's a lovely box, nice presentation. It's a nice stiff box as well. So let's have a look inside. Okay, right. Well, we'll take everything out and then we'll see what we've got. There's quite a lot of little goodies in there, actually. Okay, so I'm just going to put that over there. Right, okay, so we have, let's have a look at the screws. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bags of plastic. So let's go through them one at a time. Should be prepared, shouldn't I, really? Right, so first screw, what I do like is the packaging is really nice and tight right to the sprue itself, so it's not going to move about in there much. And this is the first bag that was on top, and we've got a little photo etch fret in there as well. So let's take this out. Obviously these are going to be the grills and everything. These horrible stapled bags. Okay, but some very nice fine photo etch there. Obviously this is all for the engine covers, and that square just to give you an idea. Okay, as you can see, all very nice indeed. It's quite thin photo etch, but very nice. I think that'll add a lovely little effect to it. And this says that this has got the Henschel turret. As I say, being the last production one, so this is one of the last King Tigers produced. So it's nice to get some photo etch in there. Right, the upper hull is enormous. You can see the size of that thing. It really is a big tank for a World War tank. I mean, if you consider it, I mean, I'm just about to start this, which is a Tamiya Panzer II, and I just want to give you a size comparison between the these both 135. That's the King Tiger and the Panzer II next to it, and you can look at the size of those things. You can see why these were used in the Blitzkrieg and everything, and this wasn't. Basically, this was its downfall, was the fact that it was so big and heavy and everything. But as a size comparison, that's quite phenomenal. You see the size of those tanks together, and they're both from the same era as well. Anyway, so the moulding, it's clean and crisp. There's no flash on there at all. It does look very nice indeed. So nice little indentations and bolts and things like that. There's some weld marks on the inside of this seam here, just in here, which is really nice. Saves putting your own in. Apart from that, you've got like the engine covers, and you've got these ropes. I'm sure you could probably get this on an upgrade kit, but these are actually in styrene, and unfortunately there is a fair bit of flash on that actually. As you can see around the hooks and eyelets there, hopefully I'll pick that up, but there's quite a bit of flash, so that's going to be a little bit of a pain in the bum to clean up because of the thing, but it's like the extra spade, and you've got the tools, you know, the tools that go on the body there. They're quite plain and simple, but it's nice to see that they're separately moulded. But the hull itself, as you can see, it's reasonable detail, not too heavy, Okay, with that photo etch over those grills is going to make a difference and things like that. That's going to make that seem a lot nicer indeed. But apart from that, apart from those ropes on the actual ropes itself, the tow hooks and that, and there's flash all the way around that piece of rope there, as you can see. Okay, which is a bit of a shame really, because this is meant to be one of the real modern kits of theirs. So, but apart from that, I mean the sheer size of it, I mean it's going to. I'm really quite eager to build up a big tiger, to be honest with you. Right, we have got another bag here. We've got 2 sprues in this bag. And we've got the lower hull. Again, it's nicely moulded, it's clean, crisp. The fenders, everything's clean and crisp. And you've got the rear there. It's all very nicely moulded. There is... I mean, there must be a couple of figures in here, I think. Because there is a couple of guns. No, there's no figures in here. That's a bit strange. Okay, but there's some weapons, some handheld weapons on here, which I don't know if they were strapped to the outside. I wouldn't have thought so. But you've got the exhaust, the exhaust 2-piece. Apart from that, as I say, it's all freshly moulded, very nice. It looks like it will go to well together. Well, I can't say until we do it, obviously. Yes, here the figures are on this piece here. There's little things like on these on the guns there, as you can see the trigger guards are actually filled in, so you're gonna have to drill those out yourself. But the detail on them isn't great, I've got to say. I've seen better. But the figures themselves, let's have a look. Now there's a lovely... I mean, you've got obviously the commander here and a soldier on top of the tank. So I would imagine that they're posed as these are posed. But they do have separate arms and legs, so you can move them around if you want. But as you can see, you've got the Waffen soldiers there. The uniform's very nice indeed. Some nice amount of detail on there, which you paint up nice. I think unless you're going to do a diorama, I think there's really no point in putting figures on there apart from the commander, the tank commander. I think they're the only ones worth doing. But apart from that, you've got the tank commander's body there. Okay, so reasonably good level of detail on there. On here, obviously, you've got the first part of the turret. You've got the first part of the barrel there, and you've got lots of very fine detailed stuff as well, and a little bit more of the barrel. But again, it looks like, I've got to say, it looks like. Let me just try this. Yeah, there's definitely some burring on there. So I mean, it's going to be, before you glue it together, make sure you go around with a scalpel and take all the burr off, because there's quite a bit of burring on there. Now the first part of the barrel is a 2-piece, as you can see, and then it looks the last part, the middle part of the barrel here is a single piece, which is nice. I like that. And then you're probably going to have the end, which will be a 2-piece again, so we can get this. I'm just trying to find it, but I would imagine that would definitely be a 2-piece, because I don't think this is slide molded. But there are some nice details there and everything, so it's some nice stuff to get stuck into. Right, we've got, let's have a look, we've got turret in this one. Okay, I mean, the size of that turret is enormous, isn't it? But you know, 1/35, and it's the size of your palm. But here you've got the rotation for the turret and everything. Now look, it's got like this the teeth like on a cog. So I would imagine it's going to be, you're going to be able to turn that, and that would be quite nice if you can turn it on a cog system. That would be very nice indeed. I don't know if that's the case. No, it doesn't look like there's another half to it. But apart from that, again, everything's well moulded, very slight burring on everything. I mean, you've got the mantle here, which is, I mean, it's got this effect of where it's not perfect formed metal, which is nice. But apart from that, I mean, it looks good. I like it. It's going to be an enormous tank. And then you've got obviously the sides of the holes, the lower hole, and the holes here with the independent suspension and everything. And you've got the toe cleats and everything. Machine pod. But yeah, I mean, it has got some EPMs on there, but oh Christ! Oh, lucky that's the exterior. That's the interior. Oh, I had a heart attack then. I thought I had loads of EPMs on the exterior, but apart from that, I mean, it doesn't look like they're being anywhere where you would see them at all. So that's nice. So Norm will like that, I'm sure. Although this isn't his thing, World War II. And then you've got. Looks like that goes through from the inside. That actually goes all the way in. So you've got all the wheel covers, sprockets and idlers and everything. And again, they're in. Let's show you one of these just so you can see the quality. Okay. But they do look very nice all the way through. I've got to say, it does. I mean, the plastic is. It's kind of. I mean, it's just yellow colour, but it's actually quite thin plastic. It's very flexible, so it's quite thin. It's not. I mean, I know a lot of kits that I've got other armour kits, and on the turret and the body net, the plastic's quite thick. This isn't. This is quite thin. So I don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Yeah, the body's the same. So, and in here we have 2 bags of wheels, and looking at them, I can see already that there is a lot of burr on there. Each one has burring. Yeah, so there's quite a lot of burring on each of these wheels, so that's going to need sorting. Although I would imagine they sit inside of these, so you might not need it. But I would definitely. There's got some work cut out there, and there's quite a few of them in there. 2-hole screws. All very nice. So the plastic itself, it's quite a thin, flimsy plastic, which is not what I would have expected. But there you go. Now the tracks. As you can see, these are section tracks. You've got long sections here for the top and bottom, and then you've got the individual ones that will around for the ends, around the sprockets and everything. So as I say, I don't know how these would build up. Unfortunately, I doubt if you will get any of that sagging look to it, but I would imagine that the side skirts on these would cover the tops. It doesn't actually show on the picture itself, on the main picture, but I would imagine the side skirts would actually cover the top of the track, so you might not get that sagged look anyway. You wouldn't really see it anyway. But again, there's a fair bit of work there with the tracks, but they do look quite nice. I have to say that I don't know if you're going to see this. It's black on black, but there's some nice detail there. Quite a lot of detail, and there's no flash at all. And I know I've seen a couple of videos lately from Lewis and a couple of other people that bought aftermarket stuff, and it's been really, really flashy. But this, all inside the gaps and everything, there's no flash or burr or anything whatsoever. So that, to me, would be, I would imagine, being a newbie on AFV, I think these would be actually quite easy to do. A lot easier than, you know, say Indie Links and things like that. But they look a lot easier than some of the other stuff, the other tracks I've got, that's for sure. So they look quite nice, I've got to say. So what else have we got in the box? We have the instruction manual. We have several bits of paper here, so let's just go through them all. We have a warning label in French, German and Japanese and English, just to read everything and all that lot. You've also then got basic tools for beginners, scissors, tweezers and cutters, and how to apply decals. and everything, which is nice for someone who's not done them before. We have some advertising blurb for a couple of their other tanks, which is the German early version of a Tiger 1. You got a Jagdpanther there, 38T, a late production version, which looks quite nice. And we've got painting and decal placement. Now, what it looks like is all these circles on this camo are actually decals. Ta-da! Which we'll go over in a minute. But there are decals here that you place individual decals. Now, the only problem I can see with using something like that is the fact that the green on the decals has to match exactly the green on the paintwork that you'd paint on. So that would make that quite a tricky thing to match up exactly, because if they look even just a shade different, it's going to really stand out. So I think we're looking at doing our own stencil for the camo pattern now, I would imagine, which doesn't look easy, but it might be something worth doing. Unfortunately, brand new kit just released and all that lot. You know, black and white, guys. I mean, really, seriously. I mean, it's, yeah, we know what the colours are, but it really doesn't give you an idea, a feel for it. You know, I was right about the top of the fender here covering the top of the tracks, but you can see we've got the Alps B 3/S ABT 511 from Kassel, Germany, May 1945. The only King Tiger in very unique octopus scheme. So there was one of a kind with this camo scheme. And then you've got the B 3/SP ABT 511 Rengerhausen, Germany 1945, which is this tricolour camo here, which is what you get a lot on the old Jagdpanthers. But yeah, so I mean, you've got a choice there, and it's looking like you don't have the decal sheet for that one, but you do have some camo patterns. Oh, I see, that's for the army. Okay. You've then got some sprue maps, not numbered either, so they're just normal sprue maps to show you where everything goes. But apart from that, it's a shame that's not in colour. I've got to say, I do like this one actually. I do like that. It looks funky, but I think this is the one to have to go for, just because it is. I think my technical skills with that camo pattern were, you know. Let me just get these decals out and let me show you before we go any further. Just put that over there. I'll have a look at the decal sheet. Now, as you can see, each one of these is an individual decal, I think. Let me just have a look under the light. Yeah, each one is an individual decal. Okay, so each one of those is individual. So that would be immense fun placing that lot, as I'm sure you can imagine. There is also decal patterns here for, I think these are for the actual figures for the soldier. Now you've got an army pattern and a Waffen SS pattern there. Now this is a decal, so I would imagine that you can kind of cut this and shape this to the officer itself, as you can see. I've heard of decals like this before. Well, it's nice that it comes with a kit for the figure as well. You probably get 2 figures out of that if you're very frugal. And then you've got the normal decals just for the tank itself at the top there. Not many, as I say. The one thing I like about armour, there's hardly any decals on it, any decaling to do, apart from this one. But I think these would be better sprayed, and it's a case of working out how best to do that with obviously some Tamiya tape and a very sharp scalpel. But I think to use the decals, I mean, I'm going to have to get that green exactly the same colour as that, which means this looks very faded on here, and which is how I would imagine it would be. But these aren't faded in the slightest, so I don't think that's going to work for the camo at all. You know, I may be proved different. I haven't seen one of these built up yet, so anywhere actually, and I did have a quick shifty. So yes, so that's the decals. Anyway, so going back to the colour schemes, I do like that. I think that, I mean, the pattern itself is very easy, but getting the circles in is going to be the tricky part. Now what I might do is maybe knock up a couple of styrene, cut some bits out of styrene and a sheet, and just spray over the sheet and everything, which might be a good idea, but there's a lot of tricky parts to go over on that. That one looks, I do like that one, which is the ambush camo, I think, isn't it? So, but yes. So, and we've got one last sheet, which is the instruction manual. Now on here, it's got the paint call outs. It's got for GSI Creos, which is Mr. Colour enamels, and then you've got Aqueous Colours, which looks like they don't do the German grey in, but I'm sure we can find someone somewhere. The Mr. Colour, which is their enamels. Then you've got Life Colour, full call outs for Life Colour, which is, this is the set of paints that I'm seriously thinking of getting rid of the Tamiya and getting all the Life Colours in. You then got Humbrol enamel and acrylics, Testers enamel and acrylics, Rivals enamel and acrylics, and Vallejo, Model Colour and Model Air. So, I mean, it's quite an extensive paint list there, which is really nice to see. Obviously, Academy haven't got any affiliations to any paint company at all, so it's nice to see that they've put you know, quite a full range. You know, most people are going to have at least one of those sets in their collection, so that's really nice to see. So very good indeed. So let's have a look inside. Right, you've got like this gatefold A4 sheet, and it's saying here to build the turret up, put all the little bits and bobs on the turret first, then the barrel, and then sit the barrel on the turret and everything. It looks to go together very simply, and obviously that is one whole build there, or this whole sheet here is one whole build in itself. I don't know about putting all the little pingy aerials and things like that on first. I wouldn't do that, I don't think, because I know exactly where they'd end up, in the carpet monster. But it looks to go together very easy. I mean, a lot of this is obviously same with a lot of armour. It's just sticking bits on top of the shell, basically. And you can see how the barrel goes together here quite nicely indeed, actually. The fact you fit it inside, then you pop the full barrel inside. What's nice, you've got the whole mechanism here, the whole firing mechanism, so that when you open up, if you do have the top open, you can actually look inside. You've got this little panel here, so you could leave that open and you could actually, you know, so you can see this firing mechanism and everything, which would be nice. So you could weather that up inside. You then got the gunner's ring and everything around the commander's port. But yeah, it all looks to go together very nicely. You've then got a little instruction on the camo for the tank commander and the Waffen SS guy, as you can see there. That's quite nice. They're actual photographs as well. Gives you the paint colour schemes and everything. You then go on to, then it says to build up the main hull, and putting all the little bits and bobs and skiddly bobs and everything on there. Doing the gunner's pod at the front. And then you've got how you build up the hull, the lower hull, and obviously popping in the wheel sprockets and in the suspension and everything. Now that looks like it's going to be movable as well, which is a bit silly really, because the tracks itself are solid, so I don't think they will be movable, but they look nice anyway. But as you can see, there's the sections for the track, which would make it quite easy. I think it's going to be quite easy to do that track. Ideal for a newbie like me. And then obviously you've got your photo etch for the grills and everything to go on the top, and then you pop the lot together and last on the turret. Obviously I think that looks like it will build up quite nicely, actually. Nice and simple. There doesn't seem to be anything complicated there, and what I do like about it is that there's a little section like the firing mechanism inside the turret and everything. You know, that the barrel itself is a whole little model on its own, which is nice. So that'll be fun, and I think I'll probably weather up the inside just for the sake of doing it, because it wouldn't take 5 minutes to do with a little bit of Mr. Metal colour or something, the buffable stuff. But very nice indeed. So I think that's going to be a nice easy kit to build for a newbie like me. I don't think that's very complicated at all. There is a few little bugbears like the burring and things like that, but I mean, it comes with a lot of kits these days. But anyway, that is the Academy 135 German King Tiger last production, and I think that's a nice little kit. Thanks a lot, take care, bye bye.